Hello again. Now we hear about the country's education sector and pupils' results getting worse by the year as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, lack of quality teachers, broken infrastructure, among other issues. But today we had another story. Laborers are plenty, but jobs are scarce. Numerous unemployed educators took to the streets to air their concerns. Despite being qualified, most of these teachers find themselves jobless, sitting at home. Today, they marched to the offices of the National Department of Basic Education to demand jobs. eNCA reporter and fellow anchor here, Heidi Giokos, is following those developments. She was up and about following that march a little bit earlier. She's back now in the studio. Good afternoon, Heidi. Thank you for your time. So can you just unpack for us what are the key concerns that these disgruntled, qualified, unemployed teachers have?
Well, the biggest concern here, Bradan, is the fact that they are qualified and they cannot get placed in any school at this stage. This is the biggest concern, and this is what is on top of the list when it comes to the memorandum that has been handed over to the Department of Basic Education. You have qualified teachers saying that some of them have never been placed or offered a job at any school across the country, while some say that they were employed and their contracts ended without being renewed and no explanation given. They want the Minister of Basic Education, Minister Angie Motshekga, to intervene urgently as they, number one, are worried about their future. They say that times are really tough and some of them have never even been employed, yet they are qualified. And also they're worried about the state of our schools, where they're saying some teachers have to be subjected to almost 80 to 90 children in a classroom, whereas there could be more teachers that are employed to assist with that. They're also calling on the department to do away with this education assistant model that the qualified teachers are alleging that the department is using instead of using qualified teachers. And the teachers indicated today to us that this is a way for the department to not pay teachers and not employ permanent teachers. So that's another big concern for them. We got a chance to speak to some qualified educators. Let's listen to what they had to say.
All of us in South Africa know education is a crisis, right? Our young people start school, they don't finish school. It's common cause that the ratio of teachers per class is now on many schools 1 to 70. So given that, it cannot be that now we sit with a vacancy of over 24,000 teachers who are sitting at home, could be assisting. Some of them have not been remunerated for even being teacher assistants in certain instances. And it becomes a political situation whereupon certain people are employed because of their political connections. So we have to ensure that if we talk about the issue of education and producing graduates in our nation, we ensure that we've got the best teachers. So our demands here today is that this matter must be resolved, payment must be done, and ultimately we must reduce the proportion of learners to teachers. Because if we fail to do that, which learner can learn in a condition where they've got 70 kids in a class to one teacher?
We have more than 5 years sitting at home waiting for jobs. And when we get jobs, we get substitute posts where you have to work for 3 months, 4 months, and then the next thing, when that contract ends, you go back and sit at home. And the department doesn't think for us. And during that time, when you are working for that period, your lifestyle changes.
Like what pains me the most right now is that they're busy hiring EAs, which are education assistants. And they go and teach while we are qualified, are sitting at home. We're supposed to be filling those positions, and then they're giving them 4,000 rand a month. They're doing that just to help us being employed, because they know that when they employ us, they have to give us a full salary. So EAs should just be scrapped, because they are the reasons we are unemployed.
We don't have money to go submit our CVs wherever they say we must submit it. And again, we cannot tolerate the department to jeopardize the dignity of our education, as well as they are playing with the future of our kids, because we have educators who are standing there in the classrooms, but those educators, they're not qualified.
Some of those unemployed teachers. Heidi, we saw Musi Maimane there making a comment to you a little bit earlier. Why was he there?
Yes, so Build One South Africa has decided to stand together with the qualified unemployed teachers. As you heard the leader of Build One South Africa, Musi Maimane, indicating that the quality of education is deteriorating because teachers are not being hired. He alluded to the fact that you have 70 or 80 learners in a classroom and there's only one educator, which really compromises the quality of education and the attention and focus that each learner should be getting but cannot be getting because teachers are under so much pressure. He was also outside the department today, giving the department about 7 days or so to respond to their demands, and also engaging with a director of the Department of Basic Education, indicating to him that they are not satisfied with the lack of intervention and seriousness that the department is not giving to this particular matter.
Thank you very much, Heidi Giokos, for that update about that much by some of the qualified but unemployed teachers.